I want to go back to the maroon and white notebook. You know, college football season ahead. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's doing the write-ups. CBSSports.com did their top 10 secondary units. I think this is the third time in 6 days we've had this pop up, the top secondary units. Pick 6, Brett Ciancia, who we've been hanging out with for a while now. I think his work is genius. I think the Pick 6 preview magazine is an incredible prep resource way to enjoy college football. Has A&M secondary at 6, and it's huge. Stock up. Huge stock up. But CBS Sports put A&M at 9. And it's interesting. A&M secondary is not 1 through 5. I haven't seen that yet. The difference between 6 and 9 is absolutely nothing. So the fact is, if I'm saying fact, the consensus opinion is a better way of stating that. A&M secondary starts the year as a top 10 unit. Second half of the top 10, who cares? Right? I mean, that's how I view it. Who cares which half? Their second half, not first half. But you know what's fascinating about A&M secondary? The safeties are kind of facts. It's the corners where Des Ricks, who played injured second half, slid backwards. Hey, I just said he was injured. And everybody's staring at Ricky Gibson III, who scouting report upside, he could be the best of them all. If these things become true, that a healthy Des Ricks for 12 games equals NFL, and Ricky Gibson III could be the best of them all, yet Dalton Brooks and Marcus Ratcliffe are 2 NFL safeties. I don't know what round. Did I just say there's 4 NFL players in the secondary? Guess what? They won't finish the year 9 or 6. They'll finish the year like 3 or 2. That's the scouting report on A&M secondary. Mike Elko has not hesitated to rave about the A&M secondary. We haven't mentioned the nickelback, and I'm here to remind you about them, in which you have it's going to be Humphrey? No, he's going to fight with Gibson if Gibson doesn't come through. I haven't even mentioned the Colorado kid that everyone's fired about, Jordan Shaw, who started showing flashes. A&M secondary starts at 6'9", with the upside of being higher. They don't have to prove they're 6'9". They're already there. And the upside is, I think, insanely higher. So A&M entering the season, the facts secondary, facts wide receiver, question O-line, but they have answers, develop, prove, and you have Cushing to do it. Question defense, whole front 7. You know what all the buzz was yesterday, day 1 of practice? Damian Sanford. He was out there. The first 45 minutes, I guess it was open to the media. And Sanford was out there. He was moving, as you would imagine. Any photo, any shot, all eyes. And none of it was expected. And if you're telling me, look, the first game of the year is going to be Missouri State. If all were to go really well, no starter should basically come out of the locker room at halftime. So what should be the demand on a Damian Sanford anyway in the first game? But if he could play at all, how far ahead of any schedule, anyone, anywhere? You don't have to push it. Maybe he doesn't have to play in that game, but if he can get the practice time in controlled, how far ahead of any schedule if he doesn't have to miss fall camp? No matter how limited, not limited, I don't know the extent of that, but incredible news. But you know that. To me, that's just incredible. Torbush, wow. But he was out there participating in the drills. And practices now, nobody's out there. They're not just trying to snot bubble each other. Great news. The fact that he's medically cleared enough to participate at all at this point is incredible. By the way, if you're wondering, and I know you are, here are the top secondaries, allegedly. Notre Dame 1, Miami, the Hurricanes are 2, the Ducks, Oregon are 3. The secret to Oregon and why they're being picked to maybe not choke in the CFP this year, their defense. Pick Six has them with 2 of the top defensive units, and there's only 3 defensive units that they rank. They do D-line, linebacker, and secondary. They don't break it down by D tackle, D end, linebacker, cornerbacks, and because you could have 5 if you wanted to break it down that hard. Oregon has 2 of the top 3. And we've always known Oregon over the years. I'll say long time college football fans, what the big quack attack? Offense. Their defense is scary. Number 4, secondary, Bama. And number 5 is Georgia. That's CBSSports.com opinion. You want to have a little fun? I always do. Because I found this to be pure entertainment. I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask you the question. And since you can text and maybe win you a Moody Gardens Family 4-pack, I'll let you text. ESPN.com, they did the top 10 college football villains of all time. That all time put an interesting element on it. The top 5 half of this list are all recently. And what does recent mean? 10, 15 years at least. Because it was hard to be a villain going too far back. We didn't have social media. It was very hard to be a villain outside of your village. It was very hard to be viral. But in recent times, where we have the Twitters and more, you can go viral. You can be a villain to the world. So the villainy is a lot more recent for the top villains, I would say. And not all. You'll see. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. I'll go over the top, the 10 level. I'm going to leave the best for last. There's an Aggie on the list. I never would have guessed it. They explain it, and I go, man, this is a matter of perspective. Top 10 college football villains of all time. They had Caleb Williams at 10. You know what's weird about that one? I know he was hated, but I didn't think he deserved it. I didn't think he was a villain. I never thought that was like a him problem. I thought it was an other people villain. Deion Sanders came in at 9. And Deion Sanders is a fascinating study because Deion Sanders has 2 villain eras, and he's the only one on the top 10 because he was a villain when he played for Florida State, and now he's a villain coaching at Colorado. So Deion Sanders, I don't know how he's not higher. Do you know how special you have to be to have 2 villain eras? Special. Tim Tebow popped up at 8. And that's another one. And maybe you have to tell me, I never saw Tebow as a villain. People hated him because he had his faith. People hated him because he said things that came off as arrogant, but he was a winner. But I don't know, man. I need more from my villains. If Tim Tebow's a villain, weak villains. Weak. Now, this one is one of my favorites because he did it tongue-in-cheek. He took one of the 10 spots to have fun. At number 7, ESPN. Top 10 villains of all time college football. They put ESPN at 7. So he wrote his whole write-up is tongue-in-cheek. But if we stop and think about it, if you don't like the current state of college football, you can blame ESPN for all of it and consider them the number 1 villain. College football's never been more popular. It's never been more viewed. People are going in droves. The ratings are going through the roof. Every network's paying through the roof because you people can't get enough. ESPN's done nothing but increase the popularity. And ESPN College Game Day, broadcasting every game. You can watch Prairie View A&M versus Southwest Texas Prairie View A&M. I mean, it's not all guns and roses. There are downsides to what it's cost. But as a college football fan, who remembers when A&M against Missouri State would be 1:30 maybe on pay-per-view only, but now we watch every game. Come on. Everything has a cost. We're getting Arizona State at 11. But overall, we've never had it better, but games are now almost 4 hours. I mean, pro and con. You tell me the sum of the whole, though. Would you not rather have this era than kind of what we had in the past, where we couldn't watch the games? The games, it was a rare one. And that's where it was really bad. When there were so few games on TV, you only got the Blue Bloods. If you were not one of the top two teams, because the networks didn't have time to spare to have the everybody gets a game on TV kumbaya, which is true now. Doesn't mean you get the best time slot, but there's now enough time slots. Everybody gets on TV. ESPN, number 7, Villian. Holy cow. Number 6 is Notre Dame. And yeah, they are a villain. I used to think they were hated for their greatness, but it's so much more. Take a look at just this past year and them going after the ACC for supporting another school that's actually a full-time member in their conference and not supporting them, who's a part-time affiliate member and only uses them for content. Holy cow. Notre Dame, who only looks out for themselves. Notre Dame, who never is a part of anything but demands rights for everything. Oh, Notre Dame's a villain. And they come up at number 6 in the top 10 villain. Notre Dame is a true blue blood villain. Without a doubt, actually. They're one of my top villains. Doesn't mean I hate them. If you don't have a villain, you can't have a hero. You need the good guys. Yeah, bad guys. Everything is defined by the other one. Now, I need a break. You can keep texting. Who fits your top 10 college football villains of all time? There's an Aggie in the top 5. You don't have to work hard. You know who it is. I'll reveal that. Rest of the top 5 and more. Oh gosh. I'm sorry. I have a text message I'll lead with because, yeah, just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The inbox on fire. This is the Louie Bellina Show. Presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Thursday, lunchtime on the Zone.
Visit the Pod Center at zone1150.com and find every hour of every day of your favorite shows. Download or subscribe.
The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Low cost, full service, best of all, well, local. That is Schwab. How do we go local? Mark Sim, right here in College Station. Right here in College Station. You get to experience a modern approach to wealth management with Charles Schwab, with Mark Sim, right here in College Station. Find him online. Go get more info. Schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. Let us go. Text messages. Lou, I heard the Texas Rangers haven't won the boot against Houston, against the Astros, in 10 years now. I don't know if that's accurate. If they have, it's like once, and it's been so long and infrequent, it feels like a decade. That's Joe in College Station. Bill, this is the year. Got Kool-Aid all over my maroon shirt. I can take that step once I see the season in progress. I just need step 1. Just get back to the CFP. Don't need anything else right now. Yeah, go ahead and win the SEC. Go ahead and go 12-0. Go win the national championship. I'm not saying don't, but step 1, just make the CFP. Back up success with success. Break the Aggie curse. Do what the other coaches haven't been able to do. Step 1, make the CFP. Jarrett, okay, we're talking about the top 10 villains, right? This was off of ESPN, did their top 10 college football villains of all time. Great list. This is so much fun. And they had ESPN at 7. Jarrett, I think, one-upped it and I think nailed it. Jarrett said, ESPN streaming app is my number 1 villain. I can support that, the nomination and election, because the ESPN one, when you take the sum of all of it and the ESPN effect, we live I know we have NIL free agency, but we live in a glorious time as a fan. We get to watch anything, everything, all things college football. That was not the world as we knew it. And you can blame ESPN for that. So, sure, there's a con list that might be long, but the pro list is longer. But the ESPN streaming app, number one villain, I think you got my vote, Jarrett. I hate, and we've talked about this before, that ESPN streaming app is the biggest hunk of garbage. Your game starts at 1 and you go 101 and it still hasn't started, and then it's in progress, and then you have to relog in, and why? Why? Text message. I'm looking at the inbox, 979-693-1150. Notre Dame is tuna that thinks it's a dolphin. Okay. Ethan, MLB prediction. Despite not selling or buying, the Texas Rangers will be in the thick of the hunt for the playoffs, but barely missing, while also hurting their position in the MLB draft for next year. That's Ethan. Right now, the Texas Rangers are tied with the Cleveland Guardians for the last MLB wildcard spot. The American League are all equally mediocre. The AL West is awful. Yes, the Rangers will be in it to the final week/weekend. I think that's a fact. Back to the top 10 villains. I'm going to reveal to you, not in a second, who's the Aggie. But here's the rest of the top. Oh, these are way too much fun. At number 5 is the Miami Hurricanes. They should be way higher. They might have defined what villain is. They might have defined what villain is. And then you've got Lane Kiffin at number 2 and Steve Spurrier. At number 1. Lane Kiffin at number 2 and Steve Spurrier at number 1. I find both of them to be a fascinating study. Because Lane Kiffin is the number 1 villain of all time. This is all time, by the way. It's not today. Number 1 college football villain of all time. It's Lane Kiffin. He left Tennessee and he was having a meeting with his players in the locker room. His coaching staff was in the back of the locker room in the meeting on the phone telling the Tennessee recruits to come with them to, where would they go from there? Was it USC? And the players in the meeting could hear them. And we can just look at everything he did with LSU. Everything he did. He tried to hold Ole Miss hostage with the coaching staff. Lane Kiffin gets, okay, the ESPN. Who's a greater villain, the ESPN app or Lane Kiffin? Okay, I'd have to debate that. I don't have time to study, but that's a tougher call than I thought. Steve Spurrier, I'm going to tell you something. Villain. He ran up scores unapologetically. He was the one that said, then stop me. I agreed with his philosophy. His 15 string players needed practice. He was as merciless as any coach or player ever existed in the needling, because you had to stop him. If you didn't like it, beat him. He knew what he was doing. He didn't care. And here's the other thing, too. He was a 12-month-a-year guy. He wasn't just in season. If there was a microphone, he was a machete in one hand and an Uzi in the other. He was going to work. Merciless. And he was funny. Oh, because he knew the things he was saying at time were absurd. It was intentional. Huge fan of his game. Steve Spurrier is the greatest of all time in the troll game. See, and that's the weird part. I look at the difference between Kiffin and Spurrier in that Spurrier was trolling. Kiffin's serious. Kiffin's delusional and serious. Now, you might say, Lou, no, he's trolling. But if he's trolling, he's bad at it. And then, I don't know, all the side stuff with Kiffin. Again, that locker room, his coaches are on the phone in front of the Tennessee players, telling the Tennessee recruits to follow him so they can hear it. Come on, man, that's not trolling. Everything he did in relation to leaving Ole Miss is troll. The way he led those schools on for weeks with his demands, come on, it's not trolling. Spurrier trolled. I see them as two completely different categories of villain. Now, the Aggie, Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel came in at number 3 of all-time villains college football. And I just have to disagree 100%. Now, this isn't me putting on my maroon and white jersey and maroon and white Kool-Aid, maroon and white cloak, maroon and white belief system. No. That's not what this says. I think anyone that hangs out with me knows that's not what this says. This is revisionist history. I would argue, I'm going to argue it myself. If you look at everything since A&M for Manziel, I guess you might want to say villain. Even self-destruction does not make a person a villain. Watching someone, their demons, cost them their possibilities, doesn't make them a villain. Did anyone ever, and I'm asking Aggies, of course, I never saw Manziel as a villain. I didn't. When he was playing at A&M, and he was Scooby-Doo, when he was playing at A&M, cigar in the mouth, Dom Perignon, all these kind of things. I don't know. He never struck me as villainous. Cash Money Manziel, I really didn't. So I have trouble. I never saw him as a villain. I think everyone thought, he was just a party. You want to know, I got to share it with you because this is pretty funny. Here's the first sentence on their Johnny Manziel section. Quote, is it a coincidence that television and movies became obsessed with anti-heroes like Walter White and Kenny Powers? Wow. That's Manziel's category. Like Walter White and Kenny Powers at the exact same time, Manziel was beating Bama, throwing up the making money sign, and winning the Heisman Trophy. Maybe, but maybe not. That's deep. Whew. I won't sleep with minutes thinking about that one. Johnny Football rose to power as the app formerly known as Twitter was at the height of its power. Man, okay. But anyway, I'll let you decide. Was Manziel a villain? And I was just having so much fun at the time I didn't realize it? That could have been it. I thought Johnny Manziel, till today still, is easily maybe the most fun, one of the funnest football players I've ever watched. Johnny Manziel, every snap you watched, every second, because on any play, you would see something you've never seen before. Potentially. You didn't blink. It was a waste of time to breathe because you would see the potential. There was a chance you were going to see something you'd never seen before. At the end of the play, you would just sit there and do the OMG, give a tour bush wow. It was amazing. You didn't want to miss a thing. Aerosmith. So, but villain. Maybe, I don't know. Being a college kid once myself, watching him do college kid things, maybe on a higher level. I never dressed up as Scooby-Doo. Some days I forgot to get dressed at all, but still, I just didn't see it as this Walter White and Kenny Powers moment. But it's ESPN's list, ESPN.com, top 10 college football villains of all time. They have Manziel at 3. How can Manziel 3 be with Kiffin at 2 and Spurrier at 1? That's Hall of Fame villainy. And I don't see that from Manziel. You can text 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. Light up the inbox, thoughts, opinions. And by the way, 28 minutes remain Every text message, you can only text once to get registered, but if you text, you're registered for a chance to win a Moody Gardens Family 4-pack. Why? Well, the ticket booth is open till 1 o'clock. That's your chance to win a Moody Gardens Family 4-pack, and it's all thanks to Dixie Tire Company.
The Houston Astros play on the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.
It is the Louie Villian Show presented by CC Electric. Residential, commercial, and industrial services. It's what they do at CC Electric. A couple of text messages, then our listen-in, Ruben Owens. Fall camp listen-ins, Aggie football players all day long on the Louie Villian Show. First one is from Dale and Tabor. College football villain, Eric Dickerson, he kept the car. Facts. If you know, you know. Truth. He kept the car. Tiag and Taylor. Johnny football year 1 was one of the most popular and fun players of all time. Johnny year 2 probably qualifies in the villain category. Could you explain that a bit more? Year 2, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman. He did the party circuit. Because he was breathing. And then went out and destroyed OU. Come on now. He, was suspended for one half of the first game against Nobody U for the autograph signing money thing. Villain. Villain's a strong word. They put him 3 next to Kiffin and Spurrier. No. You know who's 4? The Boz. 5 is the U. He, as an individual, is ranked in front of an entire University of Miami football team. Come on now. Joe and Brian. There's too many letters and words missing. Noah said, Louie, that's me. Who are you going for in the NFL Hall of Fame game tonight? I am not. I don't believe in practice exhibition games. That's just a fact of life on the Louie Villian Show, Noah. Nothing against you, but who am I going for? Nobody. I'm not. No. There's enough real sports. Like we have ESPN the Ocho. 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Today's the 6th, 10-year anniversary. I can watch the pumpkin toss. I can watch, where was that? I can watch the bare knuckle fighting ice wars. The Hacky Sacks 2026 Championship, Blaster Tag Invitational, the Fire Department Racing, or Broom Hockey Championship. I don't have to watch exhibition practice. Well, starters don't even play anymore. What is it, down to 3 games now? So, Noah, who am I going for? Nobody. Now, I do want to say this as a disclaimer. My understanding, there's so many people that this week 1, the first NFL games, that I had a great friend of mine who's no longer with us, Johnny O'Langham, who the first week of exhibition games was like Christmas because he loved the NFL. And I actually would, I don't want to say watch, but I'd be in the room while he watched and we're drinking beers. His joy alone made me happy for the exhibition games. I didn't watch them. And he's talking about like 4th string running backs in the 4th quarter. Guys that are going to be back at the butcher shop at the end of the week. That made me happy. But me? No. Time now. Listen in. Aggie football players fall camp. Here's Ruben Owens. It's good. It's real good.
Ruben, how's the first day and how do you feel? It looked like you put on some size and some strength.
It felt good being back, It's been a long summer. It was good to get out there today and have some more tempo to it and then just going out there and play today.
How much size did you put on and how does it feel running at that size?
I put on a lot of size, I put on a lot of muscle, and it feels good running as well. I feel like I still got I can do the same things I've been doing, just more stronger, I'm going to be able to break more tackles.
This is an important year for the whole program, but what's it mean to you? How important is this season for Ruben Owens to be the best rusher in the club?
It's really important to me, I want to be a 1,000-yard rusher. I want to make it to that next level, and I want to win. We fell short a little bit last year, but this year we got to finish, and I want to go win it all.
What have you seen so far from this offensive line? It has a lot of new pieces, and who's maybe stood out to you as a good run blocker?
This offensive line, great. They all play in the SEC. They all have some brand in the SEC. You know, I feel like they all standing out. They all standing out in their own way. Everyone is, and them guys, I feel like we're gonna be real good this year. After what I seen today, I feel like I had some runs that can go for some. So I feel good about this O-line.
Cohen Eccles, another one of those two guys. What in particular in him have you seen this set to, especially in his run blocking ability?
Well, I feel like Cohen is real smart. He knows how to move his body different ways to make the block, and he strains too. You know, a couple of times I've seen him out there straining to make a block. You know, so I like Cohen a lot.
You said 1,000-yard rusher. What do you think you need to get better at your game to get to that point? What needs to work out for you the best in that?
I feel like when I break out this year, I need to stop stumbling. Like that has to stop. And I feel like this summer I worked on that. You know, worked on a lot of balance stuff because like that's not good. You know, to me, I see all everything on like Ruben. If he stop falling, he'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. And I think that's true because I really do need to stop falling and make them big runs, make them big plays for the team so we can win. It's a lot of runs that I was just watching. I watched film like before fall camp, like 2 weeks. I was watching all my runs from the season. Like I could have been a 1,000-yard rusher last year if I didn't fall so many times. So that's on me, and I'm gonna pick it up.
Is there a player or two that you saw through the watching those clips that really stood out to you that you learned a lot from maybe?
I'd say Texas game. We ran wide zone play. It was 3rd and 2. I got the first down, but I made a move, made the corner miss. Supposed to get out. I started stumbling. That was one of them. And then Mizzou game. When I broke that first time, I shouldn't let that safety tackle me right there. That should be a touchdown.
So you've led this team in carries, touchdowns, and rushing yards before, but this is the first offseason you come in, as the guy. Did that kind of change that all your mentality or how you approach this offseason?
No, come in with the same mentality every day. You know, when I wasn't the leading guy, I still came in with the mentality to practice. Like I'm going to be that leading guy, and I practice hard every day. Every time I get a chance to go out there, I play hard. Because you never know when your opportunity gonna come, and it feels good to be the lead guy. But we got some other guys in that room too, younger guys. We got J-Mo, KJ, Tiger, all of them really. It's gonna be a good season for us, for the stable.
You mentioned the few of the stumbles and the trips. How do you kind of work on that in the offseason? What do you do to kind of shore that up?
It's really just picking my legs up, picking my knees up. Coming through there, it's a lot going on when you coming through the hole. Picking my feet up, I be tripping on people's feet, all that. I just gotta pick my feet up and keep my eyes up too. That's really what goes into it. And then I got balance. It's just my head down. So if your head down, you gonna go down, and I just gotta keep my head up. So. And
how hard of an exercise is it to go back and watch all of those runs? Is it painful? Is it what's the emotions when you go and see some of those? What's going through your head?
Yeah, when I go back and see them runs, I ain't gonna lie, I be thinking about that all the time. Like I'm ready to play again and show that I can make those plays. It's hard looking at them, but you gotta go through it. You gotta critique yourself. You gotta take self-criticism too. You can't just try to blame it on something else. You gotta that's me. Yeah, I should have made those plays, and I'm gonna make those plays this year.
You mentioned some of the younger guys in that running back room. Talent y'all have, just what stood out about each of them this offseason and just kind of how competitive that room is right now?
Them guys, the 2 freshmen that came in, KJ and Carson, them guys came in and worked, Like I said, with Tiger and J-Mo being freshmen, they came in, they learned fast too. Like they pick up the plays fast and all that. And then we work hard. Like it's a standard we got in there. We got to stay at that standard, We got a slogan going on. You got to be able to be in the stable. You know what I'm saying? You got to be available, accountable, all that. So, and Coach Troop held us to that standard, so we got to stay there. And we all work, we all get after it.
With that, you got a couple of older backs in the room last year. What are some of the lessons that you're taking and kind of trying to pass on to some of those younger running backs from EJ and Villian?
Just basically, like what I said earlier, that you never know when your time is going to be. Running back is a very physical position, very physical things going on in the field. So you never know when your time's gonna come. You gotta there should be no drop off. God forbid, say I go down, J-Mo, say he go down, somebody else. It shouldn't be no drop off after that though. We should all be able to make the same plays. So yeah, that's.
One of your best friends on the team is Marcel. What have you seen from your quarterback and your friend this year as he kind of steps into a captain role?
Marcel, he's been leading, and Marcel, he's like, I don't like how people out here say, yeah, Marcel can't throw. He's just a running quarterback. Marcel can throw the ball. He throw the ball very well. And he going to put it on display this season. He also put it on display last season. So it's just, they go see, and then only time will tell.
We talked about Micah Riley yesterday. Just what do you think it is about him that he earned the right to be a team captain, and just kind of what he's brought to this team in the offense?
Micah holds everyone accountable, no matter who you is, and he gonna tell you the truth. He gonna keep it real with you at all times, and that's why he's a captain.
What's the story behind some of the hunting trips that you guys have done this season, and where y'all go, and who's some of the best hunters?
We went out this past, I'll say like 2 weekends ago. Me, Farmby, Blake, Mark, Micah, and Crenshaw. We went out to a Crenshaw property. Went out hunting. It was fun, but it wasn't nothing out there. It's like everything was hiding. So we was out there from 8 to 3 in the morning. That was my first time going hog hunting. So I was like, dang, probably won't do this again because like we didn't get to shoot nothing. But it was fun though. It was a good time. Good team bonding. Terry was there too. Terry. Yeah, that's fun.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all.
That was Ruben Owens. And I told you it was really good. He took responsibility for falling down, and that was the viral. That was the thing that was everywhere yesterday, and probably won't go hog hunting again because we didn't shoot anything. I'm sorry. You had your business side. You had the fun side. I thought that was outstanding listening. That was Ruben Owens. And again, told you it was a very Aggie football kind of day. At 11:30 day. 11:35, Mike O'Reilly. Everybody's talking about him. He was amazing. The voice of leadership, man. That was amazing stuff. When we return, we'll wrap up lunchtime on the Louie Bellina Show. Noon till 1, Monday through Friday. Lunchtime on the Louie Bellina Show is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue.
Spend your summer with the Zone.
Crank it up a notch.
This is great.
Where Yankee sports is a way of life.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle.
The Louie Bellina Show. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio on a Thursday on the Zone. You've got 7 minutes and change left to text, get registered, give yourself a chance to win a Moody Gardens Family 4-pack. The ticket booth is open. Ticket booth is where you win tickets to all the places you want to be. And during the course of the year, Troubadour Barbecue Festival. Was it Nickelback this year at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo? And then it's like Moody Gardens, Texas Renaissance Festival. I mean, tickets to all the places you want to be. And sometimes it's food. You know, those $50 gift cards to Rudy's Barbecue, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue. Today, started at noon, ends at 1. You text 979-693-1150, and you're registered to win a Moody Gardens Family 4-pack. And I'm giving away like 4 of them. So we're now at 6 minutes and change left. Text now or forever hold your peace. I don't know. Something like that. Dixie Tire Company, thank you. They've been a part of the Louie Bellina Show for so long now. I want to end with this day in history. Today is August 6th. This day in history. If you go to 1890, which is 136 years ago, August 6th, the electric chair was used for the first time. It was a prison in Auburn, New York. A convicted axe murderer, William Kemmler, was fried for killing his girlfriend. Oh boy. Do you want to hear the rest of the story? They botched the first attempt and had to zap him twice. This day, August 6th in history, 1962, which is 64 years ago, Jamaica became an independent nation within the British Commonwealth. If we go to 1965, 61 years ago, August 6th, the Beatles released Help. Their 5th album had Ticket to Ride, the song, Help, the title song, and Yesterday. All my troubles seem so far away. I remember yesterday. In the year 1982, August 6th, that was 44 years ago, the movie Pink Floyd, The Wall, premiered in New York City. Wow. In 1988, August 6th, 38 years ago, MTV Raps premiered on MTV. I say, yo, MTV Raps. How many people remember MTV anymore? Because that's a thing of the past, too. And MTV was huge, influential. I remember, depends on how long you lived in Bryan College Station, when the local cable took MTV off, and there was a rally in town because I want my MTV. Oh, I remember the times. Also, let's see, this day in history, August 6th, if we go to 1993, 33 years ago, The Fugitive was released with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. In 1999, August 6th, The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis was released. I don't think that movie was as good as we remember, but it has one of the greatest lines of all time. In 2004, August 6th, 22 years ago, Rick James died of a heart attack. He was only 56. In 2008, 18 years ago, August 6th, one of the greatest movies of all time, Pineapple Express, Seth Rogen, James Franco. It's Franco. In 2012, that was only 14 years ago, NASA landed the Curiosity rover on Mars. And finally, in 2015, 11 years ago, August 6th, this day in history, Hamilton opened on Broadway. I don't care who you are. Hamilton was amazing. Don't care what you say. This is the Louie Bellina Show on The Zone Thursday.